nerdy brown dude, the nerdy Pakistani dude,
Pull
to like
Sylvie, pull that up. Show me on your phone.
insanely svelte. And he says it's because he like worked out a lot or whatever.
You know what I find funny about that concept is like just like success in general. Like people look at stuff and they go, "Oh, this is all you did to get there," and then they try to put in the work to get there, and they realize it's so much harder. But then they can't apply that same concept to.
This is what he looks like now.
Okay.
But he
100%.
But have you seen what he used to look like?
No, but I could already look at his bicep veins. It's just,
yeah, his vascularity is out of control.
Your veins don't get thick like that. It's just not normal for most people.
Yeah,
for most people.
I mean, here, this is an older photo of him. That's actually kind of like makes it look like it would be more of a natural transition, but like it's.
Nah.
He used to look so different, dude. He was like, and it happened over the course of like half of a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not.
It's Hollywood. Hollywood does this shit all the time.
I've been doing this forever.
Yeah,
he looks great. Fuck it. But
I mean, also like I feel like that definitely shaves. That definitely shaves like 5 years from the top of your life.
Nah, I don't think that many.
No, I don't know. But I mean, I was gonna say I would take it. Look,
yeah, I would take it. No, yeah. I mean, he's definitely
like nothing, no definition.
I think too that the bigger thing, like especially for these kids, that they're listening to this and they're like actually thinking about or considering or doing any of this shit, it's just like blood work. People don't realize how important that stuff is because people don't realize actually what's happening in their body. I know we talked a little bit on H3's pod, but I think any conversation I tend to talk about, if I ever talk about steroids, I always try to talk about actually looking at yourself, whether before you're going to get on or if you're on or while you're on. Like you need to be aware of what's happening, how your body's like adapting to it, to know whether it's safe or not for you. Otherwise, you're just like shooting in the dark. And I think not enough people hear that kind of stuff when it comes to this stuff because I think they just think, oh, I'm going to get it, I'm going to do it. And even on the same concept, like getting it, like it's just going to happen fast without realizing like there's all these other things that you should think about before you just jump in. Because that's like the worst thing is like I feel like there's probably.
If you want to do roids, just look at the history of every YouTuber who did roids. They're all dead.
Disclaimer, I don't condone steroids. I'm 100% natural. I've been training 8.5 years. I've never used any type of steroids. I don't support steroids. I don't think it's a good idea unless you think you want to go for Mr. Olympia. Not you think you have to commit to it because this is a decision that's going to affect you for the rest of your life. Personally, that's not my goal. That is the goal of maybe less than 1% of the population. So unless that's you, aka for 99.99% of people, you should not even be thinking about taking steroids. It's not worth it. People think they take steroids and they're going to wake up the next day with their dream body as if they don't have to put in the work. They don't have to lift the weights. They don't have to put the fork down or pick the fork up if you're trying to bulk. Long story short, don't do roids. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't do drugs. Don't do any of that stuff. Just stay natural, people.
So many like kids in gyms and their bros like, bro, take this shit, and they're like taking probably in for them copious amounts of shit that is just not even necessary to get what they want.
That's not even true. 99% of influencers, TikTok, fitness guys are all living great lives on roids with big followers. But they have problems later down the road.
So there's just something to be said about it. Just
explain Mike O'Hearn. Mike O'Hearn is natural. Does he still claim natty? Yeesh.
Anytime I talk about it, I always try to preface it a little bit.
That's why I believe in legalizing anabolic steroids, legalize steroids across the board. I'm not even kidding. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah,
I think it'd be better off if we legalized it and then we had, better, more adequate, transparent medicine surrounding this process. Because right now, like, a lot of rich people do it.
Most of them, I'd say.
Yeah. All athletes do it. A lot of rich people do it.
So LeBron does it.
No. I did not say that.
Yo, that's what you said. All athletes. He's not an athlete.
I mean, most athletes do it. Actually, maybe he might have done it too. I feel like a lot of athletes probably do it when they're younger. I mean, I
think older is when you do it more so. No?
You think they do it
just for longevity? Because like these things are, it's not even.
If you don't understand whether athletes take shit or not, let me tell you something. Amateurs take heaps of shit. Amateurs, broke people who live on people's couches take shit. Okay? The poorest athletes in the world take shit. You think that the guys with $1 million contracts are going to risk losing that contract because these guys are juiced up and they're doing it the natty way? Could you imagine when that $1 million contract comes to you? $10 million, $20 million contract. And they say, you got to perform like those guys. And then you look at these juiced up dudes that you compete with and you go, I'm going to risk the whole contract.
I'm going to risk the whole contract. I'm going to stay natural. I'm going to do it my way. And I'm going to beat all my competition.
It's not like, I'm not saying LeBron or any athlete would take something because they want to be like a bodybuilder, but just like tendon strength, ligament strength, like recovery.
Yeah, that's part of that's the aspect that people don't talk about with respect to steroids, is like recovery.
Yeah, huge.
And
also like, mental, like you'd actually would be surprised how like actually mentally like focusing it can be. Like it changes your, almost like your idea of what's possible because you're that much more, I guess you'd say like believing in yourself, just a self-belief.
Yeah, you get more confidence from testosterone course.
Remember in all those, was it like Russian Olympic athletes tested natural? They were all tested negative all natural, and then they switch the testing to check for some different kind of thing in their system, and 380 athletes all fucking failed the test. And they're like, "Oh wow, we should start testing them like this." You're at Zherka. I can't believe how many people actually do juice. I'd be young and naive. Here, you want something that'll blow your mind? The fattest dudes in your gym have run cycles. Like dudes who look like they've never touched a weight in their life have ran steroid cycles. You know, everyone thinks, hey, if I run a cycle, I'm going to look like Zherka and shit. Dude, it's all genetics. Most people look like fucking obese on roids, dude.
Through your veins.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather marginally move the needle by like making healthier choices, moving around, sleeping more, eating a better diet.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same as like steroids, but still.
Yeah, of course.
I'd rather keep that going for as long as I can, and then when it gets to a unmanageable level, then I'll do
Unmanageable level.
Doctor, what?
Unmanageable level in the sense of
Like I just feel myself slipping to a degree where it's like I just don't feel happy.
Yeah.
And depressed and all this shit.
You took them, what do you mean? Well, look at everyone who goes natural after taking roids. They look like shit. They look like garbage. Like they have to go on TRT to cope.
Because like I still believe that I can do it without steroids.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
At this age, I'm only 30.
Well, that's something too that's important is like you said, the sleep, the water, the food, all this stuff is if you're like flopping that already, it just makes no sense. You might as well nail this, see how that treats you, and then if you want to go further, by all means.
You were in Jack Bree steroids. I was extremely like athletic looking. Like I was had a bit of a six pack. I looked kind of like a long distance runner. So it wasn't the worst position to start from. The worst position to start from is like obese on roids, because then you're hormonally fucked.